The cafeteria buzzes with the usual noise of trays sliding across tables, chairs scraping the floor, and dozens of conversations blending into one dull hum. For most students, lunch is the loudest and most chaotic part of the day, but for Bella Swan, everything feels strangely distant, like the world is moving around her while she stands still in the middle of it. She walks into the crowded room carrying her tray, trying not to draw attention to herself. Being the new girl in a small town like Forks means every movement feels watched. Eyes occasionally glance in her direction, whispers rise and fade, but Bella pretends not to notice. She scans the room looking for a place to sit, when something unusual catches her attention. At the far side of the cafeteria sits a group that seems completely separate from everyone else. 5 students share a table, but unlike the rest of the room they are silent, composed, almost statuesque. Their pale skin stands out against the dim cafeteria lights, and their movements are so graceful that it almost feels unnatural. Bella slows down without realizing it. There is something magnetic about them. One of the girls has short spiky hair and a confident posture, leaning back in her chair like she owns the entire room. Another sits beside her with soft golden curls and an elegant calmness that makes her look older than the rest of the students. Across from them is a tall muscular boy who looks strong enough to lift a car without breaking a sweat. Next to him sits a girl with long dark hair and sharp, intense eyes that seem to observe everything. And then there is him, Edward Cullen. Even in a room full of people, he stands out in a way that is impossible to ignore. His bronze hair catches the light in soft waves, and his face looks almost too perfect, like something sculpted from marble. Every feature is precise and sharp, but somehow still soft. His skin is pale, his posture relaxed yet alert, and his eyes carry a depth that feels both curious and distant at the same time. Bella finds herself staring. It is not just that he is handsome. There is something else about him, something that pulls attention without effort. The rest of the cafeteria continues its noisy rhythm, but the table where the Cullens sit feels strangely quiet, like a calm island in the middle of chaos. Jessica Stanley leans closer to Bella, noticing where she is looking. "That is the Cullens," she whispers, her voice filled with the kind of gossip that spreads quickly in a small school. "They moved here a couple years ago. They all live together with Dr. Cullen." Bella keeps watching. They are not eating. Their trays sit untouched, and none of them seem interested in the food at all. Instead, they sit in quiet conversation, speaking so softly that no one else can hear. Occasionally one of them smiles, but the expressions are subtle, controlled. Edward suddenly turns his head. For a brief moment his golden eyes meet Bella's. The world seems to pause. Bella quickly looks away, embarrassed that she has been caught staring. She pretends to focus on her tray, picking at her food even though she is not hungry. But she cannot stop herself from glancing back again. Edward is still looking at her. His expression is different from the others. While the rest of the Cullens seem relaxed, Edward's face shows something sharper, something conflicted. His eyes narrow slightly, as if he is trying to understand something puzzling. Jessica keeps talking, unaware of the tension building across the room. "They are all adopted," she says casually. "Dr. Cullen and his wife take in kids like that, but they are weird. They never hang out with anyone." Bella barely hears her. Her attention is fixed on Edward. For a moment his expression softens, curiosity flickering across his face, but then suddenly it changes. His jaw tightens, and a strange intensity flashes in his eyes. It is not anger exactly, but it is not friendly either. It is something darker, something almost like pain. Edward abruptly stands from the table. The motion is so sudden that it startles even his own family. The others look up at him with confusion, but he does not explain anything. Without touching the food on his tray, he turns and walks away from the cafeteria with swift, controlled steps. Bella watches him leave. The strange feeling in her chest grows stronger. She does not understand why someone who seemed so calm seconds ago would suddenly flee the room like that. Jessica follows Bella's gaze and shrugs. "See what I mean," she says. "Weird." Bella says nothing. Her eyes remain fixed on the cafeteria doors long after Edward disappears through them. The noise of the room slowly returns to normal, conversations continuing as if nothing unusual happened. But for Bella, something has changed. That brief moment of eye contact lingers in her mind. The intensity in Edward's gaze, the sudden way he left, the mystery surrounding him and his family. It leaves a question she cannot shake. Who is Edward Cullen really, And why did he look at her like that across the school hallway, far from the cafeteria? Edward leans against the wall and closes his eyes for a moment. His breathing is steady, but his thoughts are racing. Something about Bella Swan has disrupted the perfect control he has maintained for years. Her presence is different, dangerous, irresistible, and from that moment on, neither of their lives will ever be the same.